retrieve using its powers under the CRPC, the matter ought to be sent to the police for investigation, especially in cases alleging sexual harassment, sexual assault, or any similar criminal allegation wherein the victim has possibly already been traumatized. The courts should not further burden the complainant and should press upon the police to investigate. Due regard must be had to the fact that it is not possible for the complainant to retrieve important evidence regarding her complaint. It may not be possible to arrive at the truth of the matter in the absence of such evidence. The complainant would then be required to prove her case without being able to bring relevant evidence on record, which would be unjust. We are clearly of the view that ought to have exercised jurisdiction under section 156 subclass 3 of CRPC to direct the police to investigate. At this stage, the court is not called upon to decide upon the veracity of the allegations in the complaint, save and except to underscore the importance of an investigation by the police in a manner where the CCTV footage is not under the possession or control of the appellant, but to be inquired into in the course of an investigation by the police. The discretion which has been conferred upon the magistrate by section 156 subclass 3 CRPC must be exercised in a judicious manner. In the facts of the present case and bearing in mind the position of law which has been laid down by this court, recourse to the jurisdiction under section 156 subclass 3 CRPC was warranted. For the above reasons, we are inclined to set aside the impugned judgment of the High Court and to direct, in terms of the observations contained above, order an investigation by the police under section 156 subclass 3 CRPC, having regard to all the facts and circumstances, including the need for a fair investigation. We direct that the investigation shall be supervised by a women officer not below the rank of superintendent of police, to be nominated by the DIG of the zone concerned. The judgment of the High Court dated shall accordingly stand set aside. The directions which have been issued to the effect that the complaint could be treated as a complaint case shall accordingly, to that extent, stand set aside and be substituted in terms of the directions which have been issued above. Finally, we wish to once again reiterate the importance of courts dealing with complainants of sexual harassment and sexual assault in a sensitive manner. It is important for all courts to remain cognizant of the fact that the legal process tends to be even more onerous for complainants who are potentially dealing with trauma and societal shame due to the unwarranted stigma attached to victims of sexual harassment and assault. At this juncture, especially in cases where the police fails to address the grievance of such complainants, the courts have an important responsibility. Courts have to remain alive to both treating the victim sensitively while also discharging the onerous task of ensuring that the complete truth is brought on record so as to facilitate adjudication and answering the basic question regarding the complicity of the accused in the commission of the offence. While the High Court made these observations while dealing with a case of rape, courts must remain alive to their duty to treat victims sensitively in cases alleging all forms of sexual harassment and sexual assault. The courts must try to ensure that the process of attempting to bring alleged perpetrators to justice is not onerous for the victims. aggrieved persons should not have to run. The legislature has at places molded criminal procedure to enable victims of sexual crimes to seek justice. This has been done in recognition of the gravity of sexual crimes and the need to handle such cases in an appropriately sensitive manner. For instance, Section 327 CRPC provides for in camera trials to be conducted with respect to offences punishable under Sections 376, 376A, 376B, 376C, or 376D of the Indian Penal Code 1860. This code too has had its role to play in ensuring that justice does not remain inaccessible. This court directed that special centers be set up in each state in order to facilitate deposition by vulnerable witnesses, including victims of sexual offences. Of this court supplemented the directions issued with respect to setting up such special centers. It is the duty and responsibility of trial courts to deal with the aggrieved persons before them in an appropriate manner by allowing proceedings to be conducted in camera where appropriate, either under Section 327 CRPC or when the case otherwise involves the aggrieved person testifying as to their experience of sexual harassment or violence, allowing the installation of a screen to ensure that the aggrieved woman does not have to see the accused while testifying, or in the alternative directing the accused to leave the room while aggrieved woman's testimony is bearing record, ensuring that the counsel for the accused conducts the cross examination